So, get cozy. If you're in bed, lie down comfortably and let's our imagination take us to hopefully a great, interesting new character. I did not prepare this one in advance, so once again, we're gonna do everything in this video. So I'm gonna have to use a little bit of movie magic to cut some of the moments where I'm just searching for my class and my race and all of that. But I think we can manage. First things first, as always, let's roll with my character randomized sheet and let us see what will be our concept for today. So we're gonna roll for our class, our race, and our background. As usual, without further ado, let's see what we get. Alright, so first off, our class 7 is going to be a paladin. A paladin. Which I always like. I love the support and magic capabilities of the paladin mixed with the very potent martial abilities. It's one of my favorite class always. Next, our race 85. 85 is gonna be a half orc. That's pretty nice. So 85 half orc. The half orc really allows for any martial class to really be elevated. So I think it's gonna be a no-brainer for the paladin. We shouldn't have any trouble making that work. And lastly, our background 5 is gonna be noble. You know what? This seems very, this seems like intuitively it can work very easily. Sometimes it's nice to have characters that are a little bit more classic than the gnome paladin guild artisan I believe I made last time I made a cozy creation like this one. So you know, this time a little bit more intuitive. So now that we are done with rolling our base concept, our race, class, and background, I'm gonna take a moment just to go look these up, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I took some time to look up everything we will need for this character. So, before we jump into filling out the character sheet, we have a little bit more rolling to do for our stats. So I'm gonna roll 6 times. And every time I'm gonna add up the 3 highest numbers. So I remove the lowest number, and that will give me the number associated to the ability score. So let's start rolling. So 5, 5, and 2. That's a 12 to start. 12, I think, for this method is pretty much the average we expect. So that's 1 done. 5 more to go. And let's roll. 3, 4, and 2. So that's a 9. It's always nice to have one ability where you have a negative modifier, something you're not as good at. I always like to have one of those, but let's hope we don't have too many. That's already better. That's a 14. So 3, 9, 14. Already that is nice to have, because I do believe with the half-orc we could put that in strength, our main ability as paladin, and we'll raise it to 16. So a +3 modifier to start, and that's really not bad. So I'm quite happy with the first few scores we got. That's a 12 again. 12. Let's keep this going. Only 2 more to go. That's 11. Yes, alright. Our last roll. I would like to have a highest roll, like a higher roll this time. That's a bit selfish, but I would like a good stat for my last one, but we'll just have to see if luck is on our side, and if we can get that high roll we would like. For charisma, that would be pretty nice. Let's see what we get. Hey, that is not bad at all. Another 14. Alright. So that's all the rolling we had to do. Let's put that aside. And now we can start thinking about our character. So we have a noble paladin half-orc. That's pretty intuitive. Noble and paladin, paladin and half-orc, all of that works very well together. from the oath they took. Now, here we could go any sort of way on what that oath is. Maybe protecting their family is something we could go for, or maybe they're a bit more mischievous with that kind of background. I could definitely see more of a evil and or chaotic. Well, chaotic doesn't work as well with paladins, but someone who's not really, that is morally gray or even morally not good. This could work really well. We have with this kind of base that works by itself, we can go any kind of avenue with what we want for this character. So I'm thinking I'm kind of drawn to the idea of a not so good character that could be in a family of nobles who have a tendency to exploit the people. Maybe they are rich, a family who got their power and wealth from exploiting the people of a city, and maybe they are in control of the media. Like they could be in control of the information and in a war of power with other noble families. I think I like this idea. And our half-orc paladin noble could be both a right hand in the way of being like martially apt and being there in the streets to present present as a protector of the people and someone who protects the population from outside dangers, or keeping the peace in the city, and would be a good communicator if we can give them some good charisma. But in the background, they know that they present in that way. They present as this noble family protecting the city, but maybe they all have some shady business links with underground organizations. So we would need a character who can definitely play the role of a defender of the weak, but also not just be good at defending the weak, but being good at presenting as such when they know that's not all that's going on. So high charisma for the paladin and for that background will work, definitely will. We're gonna have to go for high strength too, I think. And then I like the idea of having little dexterity for a noble. Not being able to dance pretty well, I think, is always very fun to play. It usually tickles their ego just in a way that I really like. So we're gonna put 14 in strength and in charisma. So our two 14s are used. I'm gonna put 9 in dexterity, and then let me check half-orc what are our ability score increase. So strength by 2 and constitution by 1. So it would be smart to put 11 in constitution, because we'll raise it to 12 anyway. And we can have 12 intelligence and 12 wisdom, which I do like, because they would have some proper education as a noble, and they would also have to be able to read business, you don't have very trustworthy partners, or not always, when you do the kind of business I'm thinking this family does. So, right away, let's start doing our half-orc part. So, first off, of course, we increase strength to 16. Oh boy, just gonna do that again. 16, there we go. And constitution by 1. So 12. Incredible. Those are stats I really like. A +3 for our main ability, a clear weakness, and then a few, no, that's +1 actually, a few above average abilities, and our secondary ability with a +2. That's really the kind of stats I love to see for my characters. Okay, then I'm thinking this Thor Paladin is like up and coming. So maybe like a young adult, someone who is past the rite of passage to adulthood, but is still not like the patriarch of the family, but just making its name and starting to show the people that they are an upstanding protector of the people. So I'm thinking maybe since Half-Orc lived to 75, like I'm thinking maybe in their 20s, like early 20s, because they mature a little faster than humans. So that's I'm thinking that's where they could be, like they started their career of manipulation, but they're still up and coming. Next, for alignments, I usually don't think about that too much, but here I'm thinking definitely not good, probably lawful, but then neutral or evil, depending on how much of the shady business of their family they want to take on. I'm not quite sure, but it's a good, it's good to think about that for this character, I believe. Size, okay, speed, 30 feet. We have 60 feet of dark vision. So, dark vision, 60. Then we have menacing. Menacing, which gives us proficiency in intimidation, which comes in very handy for what we want this character to do. Okay, relentless endurance. Relentless endurance. When we drop to 0 hit points, we instead drop to 1 and stay conscious once per long rest. The stable ability of the Half-Orc, in my opinion, really iconic. Then savage attacks. Savage attacks. When you score a critical hit with a melee weapon, you can roll one of the weapon's damage dice one additional time and add it to the extra damage of the critical hit. And that's it for the half character interesting, in my opinion. So next, we'll go into our paladin features. So, first thing first, we have 10 hit points plus our constitution modifier at level 1. So that's 11 max hit points at level 1. That's that's very good. Nothing to say on that. Then we have proficiencies with all armor and shields, simple and martial weapons. Not gonna write that down because we pretty much know. Then saving throws in wisdom and charisma. Wisdom and charisma. And we get 2 skills from athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, and religion. So I have to think, what would we like for this character? We already have intimidation. Insight, I think, would be a very good choice. But then, do we want persuasion to help with our business? Or do we take religion and present as a pious and upstanding faithful of a religion? I don't know. I'm definitely taking insight. And I think in this case persuasion would be even better. I think we don't have to go for a specific religion. Paladins in the 5th edition technically get their power from their oath, not a god, so, you know. But I think we can take persuasion and would be fine with that. Okay. Now let's look at our equipment. So I'm thinking, since our base concept is so classic, since we want to present as just your run-of-the-mill paladin, the one you always see, of course, we're good people, we're a paladin, right? I think we go for the most basic appearance and equipment we get. So first, a martial weapon and a shield, or 2 martial weapons. I think we just go for a long sword and a shield. Very traditional. So we get +5 on the long sword. 1d8 +3. We get the shield, so the shield. We can have 5 javelins or any simple melee weapon. I think the javelins are gonna be a great way to go for a little bit of range. So 1d6 +5. And that's 20 feet of range, I believe. So, you know, we can do a little something if we're not able to get up close. And lastly, a priest's pack or an explorer's pack. We're gonna go for explorer, it's a classic. So the explorer's pack. And lastly, we get chainmail and a holy symbol. So, chainmail and a holy symbol. There we go. So right away we can look at our AC. So I'm gonna check what chainmail gives. Chainmail armor. Oh, whoops. Chainmail, that's 16 armor class. Disadvantage on stealth. So, and no bonus from dex, which is good in our case. So that's gonna be 16 plus arch shield, so 18 armor class. We like to see it always. And our initiative we can also fill, because nothing's going to change that right away. Hit dice, we have 1d10, 1d10. Okay, so that's it for equipment. At level 1 we get 2 features, 2 abilities. We get Divine Sense. Divine Sense. So we can feel the presence of undead, fae, fiends, celestials around us. We can also know if the area around us has been consecrated or desecrated. And we can do this 1 plus charisma modifier times per long rest, so 3 times. So we got 3 use. And then we get Lay on Hands, the classic paladin ability. So we can give back hit points by touching someone. Very good PR, by the way. So we can give back hit points or cure a target of 1 disease or neutralize 1 poison by spending 5 points. And right now we have 5, so once per day we can cure someone of something. Once again, very good PR. And that's it for our paladin abilities at level 1. I do believe we don't get spells yet. Yep, so at level 1 we have +2 proficiency, so +3 -1 +1 +1 +3 and +4. That's pretty good, that's pretty good. We're gonna wait to see our background and then we'll be able to fill out our abilities or skills. So without further ado, let's just check what our noble background gives us. So first things first, we get proficiencies in history and persuasion. Oh, well, we already have persuasion, so we'll take history. And then we'll take the one we were hesitating. Oh yeah, religion. Because we get persuasion from this one, so instead we'll take religion for our paladin. We have one type of gaming set we're good with. Not very significant right now. We get a signet ring, a skull of pedigree, and a purse containing 25 gold pieces. That's pretty nice, that's pretty nice. And with that, our level 1 character is functionally complete, we still need a name. And I'm gonna slowly fill out our abilities or skill scores as we recap the background, but we're pretty much done. Before I do that, please let me know if you have a character name suggestion for this character. Let me know in the comments. I would really like to know what you think would be a good name for this one. But we have a Hathor Paladin noble who is part of a family of noble in a city where power is shared by many noble families. And this family in particular does get some influence from shady businesses with underground organization, and it's been that way for a while now. They've made a reputation of being upstanding nobles who want the best for the citizens of the city, but the ones who know them truly know that it's just a front, a facade to hide that behind the scenes they are in it for themselves only. Our own character is a young member of the family, old enough to know about the shady business going on, and old enough to participate in it and advance the interests of the family, but young enough that they are still unknown to most of the rival families. They still have a name to make for themselves, and that's probably what they're gonna try to do during their adventure, showing that themselves and their family really care about the good of the people. So they will probably adventure with a party that will allow them to make grandiose feats and to help the people in need in the city. But whenever they can, maybe unbeknownst to their party, they will try to advance the interest of the family name. And that is pretty much our background. So I'm quite happy with what we came up with today. It's a pretty good concept in my own mind. So +4 +3, this -1 -1 and +1. That's an 11 passive perception. And with that, I think we are done. Everything is filled out, and you could definitely start a campaign with a sheet like that. On that note, I hope you enjoyed this character creation. I hope you relaxed and got comfortable during the past half hour. Thank you for being with me for this process. Once again, let me know about a character name you think would fit for this one, and I will see you next time. Good night. So that's for our expertise. Next we choose our Bard College, and I've been thinking about this already, and one seems to clearly fit Elantra's background, and that